my friend, it's Dr. A, and I want to welcome you to today's special episode where we're going to continue our discussion on how you can absolutely crush this new year and really channel this New Year's energy and momentum to make you massively successful, not just this month, not just next month, but well into the future. And I consider this part two of a deeply philosophical conversation where in part one, I introduced the idea of systems thinking. The understanding that you and I are dynamic systems, like ourselves as beings, we are in a system with our nuclear friends and family, the larger society. The idea that this planet is a part of a larger cosmic system. It's a part of a larger galaxy. And if we zone down systems thinking to the microscopic level, your body is a dynamic interconnected system between all your trillions of cells, your gut bacteria, your thoughts, your emotions, all of it is connected. And we begin to move away from like a reductionistic way of thinking of seeing things in just isolations and parts and understand that you are a dynamic being. The pressures from your job, your family, your environment is constantly interacting with your goals and your desires and your habits. And we see this bigger picture. We can use specific reasoning and questions and powerful reflection to create a more robust system that gets you better results in the short term and sustains those results in the long term. So if you missed part one on systems thinking, I recommend you go back because what I did is I carried this idea of how to use 5 key questions of systems thinking and apply those into any important area of life that you want to move forward. And whether or not you've watched that right now, you can still tune into this one and get massive value because what we're going to do is apply this idea that you are an interconnected dynamic being to the different stages that we move through on our health and fitness journey. If we're at point A and we want to get to point B, we are going through different stages. The first stage that many people are going through is like getting that activation energy, really to like get clear, to get motivated and start taking action. And then the next phase is you're seeing some results, you have some traction, and you really want to watch out for friction points and stuff that can derail you. The next phase is you're even further along. You're more robust, you have more positive momentum, and your goals might be changing. Your relationships to friends and family might be changing as you've now made a bigger transformation and you're in a dynamic system with them. You're more fit. They're seeing that now. There's new relationship and new equilibrium that's happening. And then you may find yourself like some of our fit fathers and fit mothers years down the line with new pressures, new changes. You have to reinvent. You have to set new goals. You have to fall back on key habits. This is the journey, and I want to talk about this. And I'm going to talk about this in the context of a few analogies and a few powerful questions that will be very useful for you no matter what stage you're at in your journey, whether you're starting or you're one of our veterans inside our Fit Father and Fit Mother programs. The first thing I want to recognize, and I want to go through this quickly, is the process of starting in that first phase is a lot like launching a rocket. What you need to launch a rocket into space? Well, first off, you need a lot of fuel. You are the rocket, and that rocket needs fuel. It needs potential energy that we can combust and then shoot up into space. The fuel is your emotive capacity. It is your connection to your why. It is the deep reasons and understanding that why your health is so connected to all the important areas of your life. This is why January is like the perfect time to write a mission statement. If this is your first time inside our programs, write a mission statement. Get massively clear on how your health is completely interconnected to all your core variables and values, all the important people in your life, all of your dreams. It all rests on this foundation of health. Write that down, get clear, because that gives you a greater fuel tank of energy and passion that you can ignite. And now if you're one of our members, and you've been here for a while, rewrite that mission statement. That's my invitation to get clear on that fuel tank. The next thing you need is you need direction of line of force. You need to shoot off not just in any direction, but in the right direction. And this requires clarity. You need a plan to work. What oftentimes a lot of people are very motivated to live healthier, but they don't have a clear-cut plan. They don't have a clear-cut nutrition plan. They don't have a clear-cut exercise plan. So that energy dissipates all over the place. And one of the reasons why our Fit Father and Fit Mother 30X programs are so effective for people is we hand you the exact step-by-step plan to do that enables you to channel that energy and emotional capacity and start to build results and momentum. So this could be if you've been doing things on your own, you've kind of guided off. This might be a right time to get back into clarity and structure in the new year that enables you to channel more energy and get more positive momentum. And as you're going forward, then the next thing is consistent action against friction. As that rocket has the right trajectory and it's going up, there is wind force, there is gravity, there's all these different things that's pushing against that rocket. It's not just a rocket, it's a rocket moving through dynamic space and pressure. That is you, and the pressures are your life. It's all the things that are happening, and your ability to take consistent action in spite of the pressures, to course correct if things are going off. That is the process of change. And as you go further down, you end up having a stronger rocket. You understand how that rocket works better, and you're able to help guide this thing on track. So let's dive deeper into the third part. How do you can take more consistent actions over time? How do you guide back on track? And that's assuming that you've got the fuel tank through the Y power and you have the plan to work inside our Fit Father and Fit Mother programs. The third part of that is the part that never stops. Consistent action in face of pressures and friction. So here are my reflection questions for you in this new year that I really want you to look at. First question is, what are your positive domino habits? These are the habits in your life that if you just nail these one or two things, they lead to a cascade of better effects. One thing that's really powerful for many people is waking up and having a morning hydration ritual, right? You drink that water. It's more than just hydration for your body. It's like a blessing every day where you're actually making an affirming, simple action that's saying, today I am investing in my health. I know water is important for me. I'm drinking this and I'm kickstarting positive momentum. And when you drink water in the morning, it makes it a lot more likely that you're going to have a healthy breakfast. What makes it a lot more likely that you're going to have a healthy lunch and snack and dinner. So these things start to stack. And this is why I believe nutrition is one of the biggest levers we can pull in our lives, because our life is an unfolding system too. It's broken up into days. We have 24 hours based on how the sun rises and sets, right? This is the setup of God's cosmic law. And each day we have a new fresh day where we can set dominoes in motion. So my question for you is on the nutrition front. What are your positive domino actions? Is it that first meal? What are your positive domino actions? Is it your morning workout? Do you find that like when you get your workout in, or when you go for a walk in the morning, or when you pray for a morning, what is that one thing that sets off a cascade? And once you get clear on that, you protect that one thing at all costs. Because the cool thing about momentum is it begets more momentum. Once you know those two or three things to focus on, you're really clear, you nail those, and then you get lots of benefit. That's called leverage. And leverage is key, because when we don't have leverage, we have to lift things and it takes more load. When we have leverage, we can exert a set amount of effort that gives even better return. And that's massive. Question 2 is, how can you make your habits more successful? Are there habits that you can start to stack together? So maybe you find you're doing really good with your physical practices, but you want to deepen yourself spiritually. Is there some kind of audio that you can listen to while you're working out? Do you stack like reading a Bible or doing some prayer or meditation alongside your morning workout or morning rehydration or coffee habit? What do you have anchored in your life already that you can stack more stuff onto? Another question is, how can you pave the path to more success? You want to eat healthy? Are you meal prepping ahead of time? Do you have a grocery shopping list written out ahead of time? Do you reflect on the times that are going to be pitfalls, like a weekend? Do you know, like, I'm going into the weekend ahead. What can I do to stay more on track? Anything you can do to pave the path to more success in whatever domino habit you have is going to give you massive, massive payoff. Now, on the flip side, right, that's ways to strengthen positive action. We also need to look at friction, the force that's pushing against us. What are the greatest sources of friction in your life and in your key habits? Is it that you work out in the morning and you find sometimes you wake up and you're just tired and exhausted? That's a point of friction. And it's okay to have friction. We all have friction. Friction exists. Two forces coming together. Your tires have friction on the road. Your positive momentum and drive forward is always met by some bit of resistance. But the question is, what are your greatest sources of friction? How can you reduce those? And how can you hedge against them? So it could be you're tired in the morning. It could be you have a busy work schedule sometimes, and that tends to derail you. That could be a friction. It could be relationships with your family. And the question is, how do you work around your unique areas of friction? And look, friction is not static. Friction is dynamic. It is oftentimes seasonal. So sometimes friction is highest during certain times of the year. If you're a CPA, for example, around tax year, I'm sure that creates tremendous tax month. It creates tremendous pressure around like April and the beginning of the year, right? That changes the whole dynamic aspect of your system. I'm sure your job and your family, so maybe your kids have sports they play, and there's a certain friction that's introduced when they're in season and you have to drive them around places. Think about this stuff. How do you change your system dynamically to counteract that friction? Which means that the plan that works for you is a dynamic plan. The plan in January might not be the same plan in August when you're traveling on family vacation. And when you understand this, and when you understand that your plan is more dynamic than a piece of paper, it is all these different things coming together. It is your travel-friendly workouts that we include inside our programs. It's using those at time. It's knowing that you have kids in sports, so recalibrating your expectations about how many times you can exercise. It's maybe changing your nutrition when you're a little more on the road. When you start to think this way, you're taking friction, using your intelligence and awareness, and building a plan that can cut through friction. You're making yourself more aerodynamic. If you use the same plan that worked when there wasn't a lot of wind drag and you're pushing really hard against it, that's just going to create more backwards pressure that could eventually derail you. So I know I'm pushing this analogy really hard and far, but it makes a lot of sense when you really think about it. So the next question is, what are your negative domino habits? What are those one or two things that you slip up on that cause a cascade of you being off track? So maybe it's you're up late and you don't get good sleep and you wake up and you're cranky the next day. You drink more coffee than normal. You missed your morning workout. And when you miss your workout, you feel guilty and not as energized. And that means missing your workout the next day. What are your negative domino habits? Is it you have a really bad meal and that sends you into a tailspin? Is that the domino habit you need to look at? Is it junk food? Is it missing sleep? Get clear on what your unique vulnerabilities are, because yours are going to be different than mine. Some guys are super consistent in some areas and other ladies are consistent in other areas. We all have our unique vulnerabilities. So approach yourself right now with a little bit of just curiosity. Where are your vulnerabilities? Where are the things that if these things fall, a lot of other things fall? And once you get clear on those, how do you protect against those? And then the meta mindset that should be wrapped around all of this. And it's one of the most important things that people develop as they go through this fit father and fit mother journey is getting the present understanding that there is no all or nothing in this. All or nothing is binary black and white thinking. That's not how systems work. Systems are dynamic interchange of all these different variables, balancing one another, working with these dynamic forces. You are never completely on the plan or completely off the plan. You are just working in your present life with the ability to always make new choices. Okay, so that thing happened. Now I'm going to recommit in this ever-present new moment to make new choices that I'm voting for in the direction of greater health and well-being. That is the mindset. It's no longer all or nothing. It's no longer extremism. It's, I have a plan. I'm going to work it to the best of my ability. I'm going to give myself grace because I know there's lots of pressures in my life and I know everything's in constant flux. And I also know that I have this intelligent approach of systems thinking, understanding different stages. I can proceed forward with more consistency. And guess who wins this health and fitness game? Consistent people win, because it's not about working out 5 hours on one day and never working out again. It's far better to work out 10 minutes every single day than it is to be like this boom and bust mentality. We all know this. Are we applying this? Is this our mindset? And the cool things about mindset is sometimes you might hear something like I said, and it is an aha moment for you and everything changes. But what's more usual is that you hear these mindsets and then you go work it in the context of a plan and action, in the context of getting that emotive energy, getting clear on the plan and working it, and your mindset starts to mold and change over time. And this is a message that is just as fresh if you're starting out or if you're a veteran. What are your new frictions and pressures now that you've gotten the weight off? Okay, you don't have the clear scaffolding of a goal weight that you're chasing anymore. How do you reinvent and create new excitement in your life? Is it a new hobby? Is it a new workout? Is it switching to a new type of program or phase? When you start approaching things this way, no longer being in the static, no longer being in the binary, and being in this dynamic, ever new, intelligent, expressing way of being. I know there's a lot of fancy words, but I think you get the message. This is powerful stuff. This mindset stuff, this behavioral psychology stuff is quite frankly more important than you knowing how many calories are in this or that kind of thing. I hope you found this valuable, my friend. My invitation for you is to apply this into your life. And of course, if you need any help on any of this, this is what my team and I do for thousands of people. Whether you're one of our members, come deeper into connection with us. We will help you get clear on this. We'll help you go through this thinking process. We'll help you get plugged into the clear system. We'll help you recalibrate. And if you're someone new who's not in our programs, the best thing you can possibly do is get plugged in, because we literally hand you this everything you need that has all these questions baked into it, the reflection, the action, the emotion, and the community of support that will help you be successful. Because here's the truth. We are not in isolation. You are here with me. I am here with you. And we are here to be good and to support one another. I believe that to my core. That's why I show up, continue to create these videos, these podcasts, and do what I do, because I know I'm connected to you. And I believe that's from my spirituality. I'm connected to God. I'm connected to you. We are expressing together, and together we can become better. Systems thinking, my friends. This is a journey of progression. I hope you found this valuable, and I'll see you around our podcast, our YouTube channels, our blog, and our programs. This is Dr. A signing off. Happy New Year to you and your family. I wish you great success, and I'll talk to you very soon.